It's hard to miss that there's an election taking place here. But these faces vying for parliamentary seats are causing some skepticism.
I'm not convinced with any candidate. They didn't benefit us last time, and they won't do it now. They just want personal benefits.
There's little faith in the electoral law, which is seen to favour tribal areas loyal to the monarchy and reserves the majority of parliamentary seats for independents. The main opposition group, the Muslim Brotherhood, is boycotting these elections, along with some other opposition figures. Which means voters are left with a choice of candidates who are largely loyal to the government. Now, King Abdullah has stressed that these elections are crucial for reform. But if this parliament ends up looking no different than previous ones, it may be hard to convince Jordanians that anything has changed. Opposition figures say, whereas there may be an appearance of a constitutional monarchy here, the reality is that the king's powers are absolute. Protests over the last 2 years have demanded reform, but many feel that the changes that have been introduced don't go far enough.
The king is not going to accept that, give up his power in the constitution. But he will willingly, by his own free will, delegate some of his power to the parliament. So he will delegate some of his absolute power to a parliament like this one, who, the one running for it, I don't know even their names. So to whom he will actually send his orders.
The plummeting economy is making things worse, where subsidy cuts to fuel prices last year caused Jordan's worst protests yet. And with a budget deficit of almost $2 billion, the government has warned there are more cuts to come. But some remain optimistic. Imad Khalifa has worked in downtown Amman for 35 years.
The people protesting are not the majority. We have a duty to vote. Let's hope this parliament is stronger than the previous one. We will try this experiment. Let's consider it as a last chance in this country.
Around 70% of eligible voters have registered despite the opposition boycott. How many people actually turn up will be telling whether Jordanians still have faith in the promises of their leaders. Stefanie Dekker, Al Jazeera, Amman.